Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the AITA subreddit. The post is titled, "I broke up with my GF after I found out she slept with someone while we were dating. She lied. When I first started dating my now ex and asked her if she wanted to be exclusive, I asked her two questions. First, was she seeing anyone else? She said no. Second, had she slept with anyone else while dating me? She said no. She did ask me why I was asking that. I told her that I believe if you sleep with someone else while dating others, that makes us incompatible. To me, that means that she either doesn't see sex the same way I do, or if she does, then it means she chose someone else over me. We hadn't slept together by then, by the way. So after that, we were together for about a year and some months. I found out that she had, in fact, slept with someone else while dating me. Honestly, there wasn't anything she could have said, but I figured I should let her talk. She said it meant nothing and that she didn't want that to ruin a good thing and that I shouldn't let something so meaningless ruin our relationship. I told her that she lied to me and that I was very clear on my end. I told her we were done. She kept insisting that our relationship was good and that it was a good thing she lied. I told her I'm not going to reward her lying. I do feel kind of guilty, to be honest, but she lied to me when I was as clear as possible. Am I the asshole? Update. So my now ex came by my place to pick up her things. Or, well, at least that's what I thought she was doing. She said she still wanted to talk about us, that she wanted to stay together and asked for a chance to be heard. Against my better judgment, I agreed. I think, on some level, I was hoping to find something to change my mind. Despite how I may seem, I do love her, but I don't think I can trust her anymore. Sadly, nothing she said really changed my mind. She actually used a lot of the arguments I had heard in the last comment section. She told me that she knew the other guy better but liked me way more and that our relationship was way better than anything she had with the other guy. I told her that didn't change my mind because in my mind, she chose him before me. She told me that wasn't the case and then I straight up asked her why she slept with him before me then. She told me that it was just different and that it wasn't a comparison. I told her I didn't believe her. She then asked what I expected her to do. If she told the truth, I'd have broken up with her. If she lied, I'd have still broken up with her. At that point, I knew I had just wasted my time talking to her, and I asked her to leave. Thanks for all the support, to be honest. I think my last post made me feel more ready for my ex's visit. The tall cunt said, seeing the divide in the comments, I think a lot of it just comes down to different people's own experiences with dating. To some people, going on casual dates with different individuals in a short amount of time is completely mundane and just how it's done. They're testing the waters and trying to find the right person. They're not as emotionally invested in every interaction. If one person is a dud, they move on to the next. It's hard to find the right person in a world full of weirdos. To others, the idea of having a potential relationship with just one person is a massive deal. So, of course, they're completely invested from the very beginning. They commit early to the idea of making it work, as even reaching the point of having a conversation or going on a date is a huge milestone. Interacting with multiple potential partners at once just isn't something they experience. In fact, it's pretty much alien to them, and this shapes their expectations. It's more of a spectrum, with most people falling somewhere between the two ends. Both approaches are completely valid, and neither is better than the other, but these opposites can often clash, and not just when it comes to sex, as in OP's example. Rookie2 said, the takeaway in this was that they both wasted their time. If she had been honest, the year they spent together could have been used to find someone else. OP pretty much told her what the deal breaker was for him, and she lied. The point was not about her sleeping with another man before going exclusive with him. It was the fact that she lied when he asked and went ahead to waste that year while keeping the lie buried. This next post was made in the relationship subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, "My GF bought a motorcycle and now she expects me to ride 2 up behind her." First, sorry about my English. I am not a native speaker. About 2 years ago, my girlfriend expressed a desire to ride a motorcycle. She enrolled in driving school and almost immediately bought a motorcycle with which she obtained her license. I supported her completely, including financially. The motorcycle was partially a gift from me. Last year, she went on many rides alone or with other bikers she met on some internet forums, and sometimes she tried to ride with some of her female friends as pillion passengers. Now that the warm season has arrived and she has been riding for almost 2 years, she has started asking me to go out on her motorcycle together. I told her that I have no problem with her riding a motorcycle, but I find it embarrassing to ride too up behind her. We started arguing every day about this. How do I make her understand that in 2024 it is still a big stigma to ride behind a girl and that I do not feel like doing it? Update. About a month ago, I asked for advice and received a few but significant criticisms. You were right. I admit that I did not react in the best way. Your comments kept me up at night, and the next day I decided to talk to my girlfriend. Actually, I wrote something false, not that it changes much, but I am 34 and she is 35. I also left out an important detail, something even my fiancé did not know. In the country where I grew up, you have to be 18 to drive a car, no exceptions, but from 14 years old, you can ride a small moped. Everyone has at least one moped in the family. In my high school class, in my country, high school starts at 14 and ends at 19. I was practically the only one who did not have a moped. I am not joking. Both my father and mother had a moped, but in their opinion, a moped was too dangerous for a little boy to ride. When my friends and I went out in the evening, I was the only one who had to be picked up by my parents. The others were all on their own mopeds. When I was 16, I was at a classmate's birthday party. When the party ended, I saw my mother arrive to pick me up with her moped. Apparently, my father had fallen asleep. She did not want to wake him, and she did not want to drive the car, so she came to pick me up on a moped. I was livid but had no choice but to leave with her. This completely destroyed my teenage life. My nickname became Moped Boy or Mama's Boy, girls laughed at me, and boys made fun of me and bullied me. My social life was reduced to a few occasions, and the last 2 years of high school, 18 and 19 years old, were spent in total solitude since, even on the few social occasions I had, I was still made fun of. I met my girlfriend after university. Fortunately, she came from another city and she did not know anything about this. I told my girlfriend about my story, she remained silent and then hugged me. The following weekend, we went to the beach. She insisted on sitting on a bench in front of the motorcycle parking lot. We counted, and of the couples who arrived by scooter or motorcycle, 1/3 had the woman in front and the man sitting in the back. Maybe it was a bit of a silly experiment, but it worked. She tried to pick me up for a small ride, but we found that riding an R3 with a 6-foot, 160-pound passenger is a bit difficult. We briefly looked around, and 2 weeks ago, she managed to swap the R3 with a Himalayan. Last weekend, we took our first little trip on our own. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted from my soul. My girlfriend finally asked me if I want a motorcycle too. I thought about it for a few days, but I think I am happy like this. My girlfriend seemed happy about this. New Journalist said, "It's crazy how much damage childhood bullies can do." To this comment, user Nuclear Material said, "Well, they are your formative years, so it is not as unusual as you might initially think. Most issues people have can likely be traced back to their childhood and teenage years." Kethable said, "This is like that episode of King of the Hill where Hank refused to ride behind Peggy until he was absolutely forced to and then found out it was fun." Acrolopede said, "This has got to be the weirdest, most specific, ultra niche family trauma I have ever seen on Reddit." To this empirical irony said, "This person may have grown up in Vietnam or Thailand or another similar nation where this is not only extremely common, but the culture is extremely misogynistic and sexist. If he told me he was Vietnamese, I would immediately say, ah yes, that tracks." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.